After the success of the Pugilist Son short, the writer and director Chris Frettel is working on the Pugilist Son feature, which will be released soon. The story explores the world of boxing and the dark aspects of the relationship between father and son. A father wanting to keep his dream alive through his next generation, his son. A son who reaches his limit.
I know how it feels. I was the son of a pugilist.
I got your back. Fuck off to the gym. What happened to your dad?
Died a famished man who fortune couldn't save.
Snap! 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 This is your dream, Dad. It's not mine. Fucking little faggot. Why don't you fight me? Because I don't want to end up like you.
Hello, my name's Chris and I'm a writer-director.
Hi Chris, thanks for doing this interview. What makes you interested in film?
I started fairly conventionally through doing A-levels and then a foundation course and then a degree, and I was always interested in stories. So what I did was I kind of had quite a close relationship with my tutor when I was doing my degree, and he told me then that the best way to kind of like have full control over your projects is to become a writer. So if you have any writing talent at all, try and nurture it. And so that's what I did from when I started my degree, basically. So that was my first stepping stone into writing, basically. Yeah.
Why boxing? Why did you choose this theme?
I think I got influenced by kind of a lot of boxing films. I think what I first wanted to do with this film was tackle kind of taboo subject, which is bullying within the family. And I was trying to think of a commercial way that I could do that. So I just looked across kind of loads of ideas, because it's kind of a hybrid film. The film's about bullying, but it's also about sport. So it could have been anything, could have been any sport. So it's just fusing those two things together to give it that kind of commercial edge. Otherwise, you know, with a bullying film, could be into a kind of kitchen sink drama situation, which is what I didn't want. So the addition of boxing into that subject matter just enhanced it commercially. And so, yeah, that was the idea of putting boxing in and fusing those two things, yeah. Right.
What inspired the idea for the film?
All right, the idea. Well, okay, I was a little bit disillusioned because I'd made a few short films and they were awful, basically. They weren't awful, they just weren't good enough, up to scratch. And I kind of went away and thought, you know, where I was going to move in this particular business, in this particular field. So I was travelling back on the tube one day, and I caught the last this article in the Metro newspaper, and it said something like a quote saying 70% of there's some kind of bullying goes on in 70% of families in the UK. Got home, watched the last half hour of what was it, Raging Bull. And that was it. And the next morning I went off and wrote it and raised the money and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's how it happened, basically.
Which challenges have you faced in the production of the film?
Raising finance. Next. No, it's, raising finance, basically. It's a nightmare. It's lucky that it was fortunate this wasn't just a kitchen sink film, because with the addition of boxing, it became easier to finance, basically, because you've got two areas. We went for one area, which is the charity area, which is lots of bullying charities out there, and we went for the other area, which is boxing. So one of those areas was going to fund our film. It just happened to be boxing. So without that addition, that commercial addition, which to kind of like change the story, we probably wouldn't have got financed, because the kind of bullying on its own would be quite a low-key story, but with boxing you're opening up a kind of field of potential boxing fans. It was actually a boxing fan that got us the finance, basically. So, yeah.
Are you using the same casting as the short?
Only Gary Stretch. Yeah, everyone else is going to change. That said, Gary Stretch is a hard sell. He's not a bankable actor, But with Gary Stretch, you'd have to have other bankable actors or a kind of well-known producer producing, because it's all about, obviously it's all about numbers, it's all about marketing, it's all about making your money back. And so Gary's career has been quite checkered. I mean, he's done some big films, then he's done nothing, they've done little films, stuff like that. And so it's all about me putting enough power behind myself in order to get Gary. Otherwise, investors are going to come in and say, look, love the script, love this, but we want someone else to play that lead role. And I will fight tooth and nail to have Gary in there, because I know the importance of authenticity, and I know the longevity of authenticity will travel further than kind of just a face for face sake, if that makes sense. Especially for this kind of film, because Gary's actually been a boxer, he's been there, he's been in that position for real, and you can't separate that when you look at him, and you won't be able to separate that from the story. If he had a son, he would be about the same age as the son in the film, and you can, you don't have to suspend disbelief too far. So that would be, so yeah, he's the only one that's going to be in the next film. But if I can get him, I know I can, but I've just got a lot of work to be done, basically. So yeah.